derived class constructors. Unlike base class constructors, derived constructors have no initial keyword des binding. Calling the keyword super creates a des binding within the constructor and essentially has the effect of evaluating the following line of code, where base is the base class. Here they give us this example. We have the keyword des and it's assigned to the new base with parentheses and semicolon at the end. So they give us a warning referring to the keyword des before calling the keyword super will throw an error. And they give us also a link for the keyword super. This is the article if you want to read about it. So derived classes must not return before calling the keyword super unless the constructor returns an object, so the des value is overridden or the class has no constructor at all. So here they give us an example. We haven't touched yet classes. In a future video I'm gonna make a video about classes in more detail, but bear with me in this general example overview. So we have this class base, we have an empty set of curly braces. In the next line we have the class good extends base, again with an empty set of curly braces. In the next line we have class also good extends base, and inside of the curly braces we're going to have the constructor, and inside of the constructor we are going to return an object with the property a and its value the number 5. We close the curly braces of the constructor and we close the curly braces of the class also good extend base, and finally we're going to have the class bad extends base. Inside of the curly braces we're going to have a constructor, but this time it's going to be with an empty set of curly braces. And now we're going to call in these classes. So new good, we call it with parentheses here and semicolon at the end. New also good and new bad, and we put parentheses and semicolon at the end. And those names come from good, come from here, this one. Also good comes from the third class, and bad card comes for the fourth class. And when we check it out in our developer tools, we're gonna get an error, a reference error, and we can check it out right now. We go to our Chrome developer tools, so you can go, let's go here. We open it with Ctrl+Shift+I. I'm gonna clean it up here, I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna press enter, and there you have it. Uncode reference error. Must call the keyword super constructor and derived class before accessing the keyword des or returning from derived constructor. So that is that. Global context. And the global execution context outside of any function or classes may be inside blocks or arrow functions defined in the global scope. The keyword des value depends on what execution context the script runs in. Like callbacks, the keyword des value is determined by the runtime environment, the caller. At the top level of a script, the keyword des refers to global des, whether in strict mode or not. This is generally the same as the global object. For example, if the source is put inside an HTML script element and executed as a script, then we will have the keyword des is equal to window. Here we have a note. Global des is generally the same concept as the global object, i.e. adding properties to global des makes them global variables. This is the case for browsers and Node, but hosts are allowed to provide a different value for global des that's unrelated to the global object. So here we have another example. In web browsers, the window object is also the global object. So we have the console.log, and we have the keyword des, and we want to see if the keyword des is equal to the window. So when we console.log this equation, we want to know if it's going to be true or false. So again, in web browsers, the window object is also the global object. So now we're gonna use the keyword this that be. So we're gonna have this variable, and then we're gonna assign it to a string. In this case, it's gonna be mdm. We end up with a semicolon, and now we're gonna cancel that log window.b. So the result that we are gonna get is gonna be the string that we create here, mdm. After that, we're gonna cancel that log only the variable, and the result that we're gonna get is only mdm. And we can check out this example. We can clean this up with Ctrl L. We paste it, press enter, and there you have it. The keyword this is equal to Windows, so the boolean that we are gonna get is gonna be the boolean true. Now when we use the keyword this that be and we assign it to the string mdm, and now we cancel that log window that be, the result is gonna be, the result that we are gonna get is mdm. And in the next line, when we cancel that log, the variable b, the result that we are gonna get is mdm. But for example, if instead of Windows we will have, for example, this is gonna be true. Okay, but what happens if instead of Windows we just have let me try it here. Okay, so what happens now? We're trying to cancel that log, the keyword this, and we want to see if the keyword this is equal to the string Windows. That is false, because the keyword this is equal to window, not to the string window. So in this case it throws a boolean false. So we take those single quotes here and press it, and there you have it. We have a boolean true. So again, if instead, for example, instead of the mdm we just have, I don't know, hello YouTube, for example, the result that we're gonna get is gonna be hello YouTube twice. When we cancel that log window that b, we are gonna get access to this string that in this case is hello YT. And when we cancel that log, the variable b, the result that we are gonna get is again this string hello YT. So that is that for that example. If the source is loaded as a module for HTML, this means adding type $, inside single quote, inside double quotes module to the script tag. The keyword this is always undefined at the top level. If the source is executed with the eval function, the keyword this is the same as enclosing context for direct eval or global this, as if it is run in a separate global script for indirect eval. And if you want to read more about the eval function, here is the article. And you have to be careful when you deal with the eval function. Here they give us a warning: executing JavaScript from a stream is a normal security risk. It is far too easy for a bad actor to run arbitrary code when you use the eval function. See, never use eval below, so it'll be worth to check out this article. So we're gonna check this example. We have the function name test, and inside of this function we're gonna have we're gonna open curly braces here, and we're gonna cancel that log eval, the eval function, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna pass a string with the word this. And now we want to see if eval if the eval function is equal to the keyword this. So this is a direct eval. We end up with a semicolon, and now we're gonna try an indirect eval and non-strict. So we're gonna cancel that log eval question mark that, and now inside of the parentheses again we pass the string this, and we want to see if this statement is equal to the global this. And finally we're gonna have the indirect eval, but this time it's gonna be strict. We're gonna cancel that log the eval question mark that, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have inside of the double quotes we're gonna have the words use streak, but the use streak are gonna be inside single quotes. Outside of the single quotes we're gonna type in a semicolon and then the word this, and we want to see if this statement is equal to the global this. So now we're gonna test that call. So this is the name of the function, test. That we're using the dot sign, and then we use the call method. So inside of the parentheses we're gonna pass in an object with the name, with the property name, and the value is gonna be the string object. So if this is true, we are gonna get it's gonna log 3 boolean true. So we can go to, with the first boolean true comes from the cancel.log. So when we cancel that log, the eval function, and inside of the parentheses we pass in this string, this statement is equal to the keyword this. And the second cancel.log, when we want to see if eval question mark that, and inside of the parentheses we pass the keyword, the string this is equal to the global this, the result is going to be the boolean true. And finally in the third cancel.log, when we want to see what is the boolean of the eval question mark that, inside of the parentheses we have the inside double quotes, inside single quotes we have use strict. Outside of the single quotes we put a semicolon and then the word this, and we want to see if this is equal to the global this, and the result is going to be a boolean true. And this is what we got, the 3 boolean trues. So that is that. Know that some source code, while looking like the global scope, is actually wrapped in a function when executed. For example, Node.js, CommonJS modules are wrapped in a function and executed with a keyword this value set to module exports. Event handler attributes are executed with a keyword this set to the element they are attached to. Object literals don't create a keyword this scope. Only functions, methods defined within the object do. Using the keyword this in an object literal inherits the value from the surrounding scope. And finally we have this example. We have that a constant declaration named obj, short for object, and we are assigning it to an object with the property a and its value the keyword this. So now we're gonna cancel that log, the object.a, and we want to see if the object.a is equal to Windows. So we grab this example, we clean it up here, we paste it, and there you have it. Object.a is equal to Windows. But what will happen, for example, if instead of this we have the if instead of a is the property and this is the value, but in this case it's going to be the string this. So what will happen, we press enter and we're going to get a false, because object.a is not equal to window now, since the value of a is a string. So we change it to the keyword this, we press enter, and then we have it, and there you have it, you have the boolean true. But for example, if we try to cancel that log, the object.b, let's say object.b is equal to window, we also gonna get a boolean false. And there you have it, boolean false, because we don't have the property b. So, but if we type in the property b here, if we type in the property b and we assign it, let's say we assign it to the string this, the result that we are gonna get is gonna be a false, a boolean false. Why? Because this is not equal to the keyword this. So if instead of the string this we now have this, so the property b is assigned to the to the keyword this, the result that we are gonna get is gonna be a boolean true.